Hey YouTube, so let me explain to you what we got going on here. This is a 1969 Triumph TR6, and here's kind of what I'm hoping to do with this. There's a number of YouTube channels that kind of help each other out with maintenance things and showing you how to do different stuff, and that's kind of what I'm hoping to get into as well. Got this car September of last year, so almost a year. It's August now. I just want to walk you through on this video a couple things I've done to it and plans for it, and kind of go from there. So we'll jump into it. So this car came with original Redline tires, believe it or not, and I checked the date code on them, and they were from 2000, and they rode like bricks. So I had these Yokohamas put on probably about 3 or 4 months ago, and they are way better. These are the 205 size, 205 70/15, and they fit just fine on those rims. So big improvement there. Couple things in the engine bay. Replace the air cleaners. That's no big deal. That's a simple job. Replace some of these hoses. They were all cracked. We'll go the other side. Did the disconnect on the battery. I got that part off of eBay. That's been great. Every time I park it, I just shut her off for the night. That way we don't have to worry about any electrical issues, if you know what I mean. Come around here to the driver's side. We'll get into the ignition. So the original one that was on here was full of grease and nastiness, and this car must have had a massive oil leak at some point. So the coil was just, I couldn't even tell what it was. It was literally just covered in dirt. So I pulled that off, got a new distributor cap over here, replaced the rotor, put an AccuSpark electronic ignition in there, and then got these new spark plug wires from Moss Motors. So AccuSpark coil, cobalt wires from Moss, and then the electronic ignition's under there. And then I got a rotor from Distributor Doctors over in England. I'd replaced that with a rotor from Moss Motors, one of their cheap black ones, and it made it about 30 miles, and it just died on me one day. So had some friends over. I said, hey, you want to go for a ride in the car? They said, cool, sounds good. So we got about a quarter mile from the house, and then all of a sudden I just lost all electrical power. It just died on me. So I knew I had some sort of catastrophic failure. So I went through a number of tests. I checked all the AccuSpark stuff. It all tested good. They ended up sending me a new module anyways, because we weren't 100% sure that the electronic ignition hadn't failed. But anyways, so first thing I did was replace that rotor, and a couple cranks she fired right up. So I'm not sure what the problem with that rotor was, but anyways, replacing it with one of those good red ones from Distributor Doctor that everybody says you should is so far made a big difference. Hasn't failed on me yet. So a couple other things. I replaced the belt not too long ago. I'm not sure how old a lot of the original parts on this, or the parts on this, were. I have a lot of the records and receipts from previous owners. I think I'm the 4th owner. But it's hard to tell on some of those. Some of those are just part receipts and you just don't know. So it's a work in progress. A couple other things I want to get done. The brakes are going to be the next big job. I have no idea how old that master cylinder is. So that's in the works. I got something afterwards to show you, a little treat. I think that's about it for under here. So we'll kind of move on. Actually, let's talk about the top. I just got done replacing this 2 days ago. So it's already, who did I get it from? Prestige Auto Trim in England. Shipped it over via eBay. It's the canvas top. The original one on here was a white, one of the vinyl ones, and it had shrunk so much that these sides here, they were like way up here. I couldn't even stretch them down over the Velcro. This wasn't terribly difficult to install. It probably took me, well, I say that, it probably took me a month, probably about 6 weeks, working on it on and off for a couple hours every weekend. Fortunately, my job is pretty demanding, so I can't just devote 10 hours to it every day. But so far so good. Looks 100% better. I think this canvas top will last for a long time. So let's look at a couple things in the interior. So I got the steering wheel here from Ratco. It's their 13-inch steering wheel. Definitely makes it a lot easier to get in and out. I'm 6 foot, so I don't know how anyone much taller than me can fit in this car. One note on the 69s, if you decide to go with this wheel, you have to get a hub from a later car, because this uses the 6 bolts that go around the edge here, and the wheel from the 69 has bolts that go all the way around, which don't fit this hub. So I actually discovered that after I bought the wheel, and Ratco was actually fantastic. They sent me a free hub to make it right. So hats off to them. I got what I think is a period correct shift knob. Got that from Moss Motors. I had one of those cool Union jack wings that was made of wood, but to thread it on there, it just uses plastic threads, and it just never felt secure. I always thought it was going to break off. So I got that one. It's got the metal insert inside of it. Works great. It had lap belts on it when I bought it, so I didn't much care for that because I don't feel like eating the steering wheel. So I put in a 3-point harness. It's not the retractable kind because this car, as you can see, has a roll bar in it. So unfortunately, those roll bar supports get in the way of where the retractor would be. So that was the next best thing. I think at some point we'll redo the carpet in here. I've been looking at different options, just haven't decided what we want to do yet. That's about it in here, though. It's fairly clean for who knows when the last time any of this was replaced. Let's move to the back here. We'll talk about some other things. So, did the rear suspension over the winter. Of course, you can't see any of it because, well, the tire's on. But I pulled the control arms off, cleaned those all up, did the patent kit for the studs, replaced all those so we don't have to worry about those stripping out. Haven't really touched the brakes too much yet, but we will. I've got new brake parts for the front and rear. Like I said, we'll talk about that. New bushings from Good Parts, the Nylotron. New springs. It feels 100 times better. So, let's take a look at the differential. So that's the Nissan R200, which I also got from Good Parts. It's the 3.53 or something like that ratio. And it cured the clunk that I had taken off. Actually, whenever I was shifting gears, I would get that infamous clunk on the right side. And that cleared it right up. So I did the new drive shaft from him. All bolted up smooth. I did have to cut the exhaust off. You can probably see that bracket back there that I kind of used to jimmy rig it. By the way, here's the exhaust. That's getting replaced too. That's garbage. Went with the Good Parts CV axles, and man, it's smooth. We just got to get the transmission sorted out, and this car will be she'll be good, man. So, what else? I said I had a little surprise for you here at the end. Got a new exhaust on order. Actually, not on order. It arrived the other day. There it is. Got it from British Parts. Unfortunately, no one has a hanger kit right now. They're all sold out, so I had to order some parts. Here's the Coupe de Grace. I bought the Willwood kit for the TR6, and it just arrived today. Got it off of Jegs. Here's what she looks like. So there's the new parts. Really excited to get these on. I don't know how old the brakes are that are on this thing. I'm going to assume fairly old. It's definitely got original calipers and everything on it. So I'm excited to get that done, and I've got the parts to do the front suspension as well. All from Good Parts, new bushing, springs, the works. So that's kind of it, man. Hope you guys will tag along and follow me on this adventure, and we'll help each other out. And I'm sure I'll have questions. You guys will have solutions, and be easy on me. I'm obviously not a videographer, but we'll go from there. So cheers, guys. I'll see you on the next one.